Let's talk about Polycab, because a stock that was under pressure, considerable amount of pressure earlier on in the session. It has recovered some ground from that point. It's trading with cuts of about 2% on the back of earnings. And Mahima is tracking this closely. Mahima, not the best numbers to speak of. Again, erosion in the margins are a bit of a problem, right?
Absolutely. So margins for Polycab have gone back to where they were in 2022, which is why the stock has tanked so much. In terms of revenue, they had a good growth of around 30%. Ebitda also was, quite a good growth. But margins is where the pressure is. Now, there are multiple reasons why this has happened. First one being there's higher mix of B2B and institutional sales, which has overall impacted the margin, because that is,
margin business.
Correct. And then there has been lower mix of exports. Now, their exports in terms of total revenue have come down to 6% versus that of 9%. And exports is a high margin business. So this is one of the major reasons.
But is this going to be durable? Because one would assume that if there is a shift in the volume mix, or not the volume, but the business mix, it's something that is durable. It's not something that will change so quickly. So one would assume that the margin profile is going to change completely.
Absolutely.
And I think,
absolutely. I think it will take time for them to, come back to the 14% level, which they had in FY24. Now, one more reason, because the margins have taken a hit, which management has said, is that they're facing intense competition in this space. And of course, they are continuing to invest in category and brand building efforts, which is one of the reasons why the costs have gone up and margins have taken the hit. Now, just a view as to how the margins were, FY24 around 14%, FY23 also they were around 13%, but FY22 were between 10 to 12%, which is why I said that they've come back to the FY22 levels. Now, exports are declining. They've declined around 29% YOY. In terms of other key highlights, some positivity in the results. Revenues grew by 30%, where the 5-year CAGR has been around 20%. So good growth there. The cable and wire revenues also grew by around 24%, where the CAGR is around 24%. So again, something positive, to look out for in Polycab. But overall, brokerages have not remained too cautious about the stock. Jefferies has maintained a buy with a target price of 8315, and they've made a minor EPS tweak of around 1 to 2%. FY24 to 27 estimates of sales and PAT CAGR are around 21 and 22%. And overall, they retain target of PE at 42 times.